Philippines. It's me, Angeline Cueta. We're here to bring you the fresh, latest news from all over the Philippines. Our headlines for today: sinking of Doña Paz, the world's deadliest shipping incident. Undoubtedly, Titanic is the most famous shipwreck for over 100 years, but its death toll was only a third of the most deadliest shipping incident that took lives of over 4,000 people. It has been over 34 years since Doña Paz ferry collided with a tanker burned and sunk in the Philippines. Water 5 days before Christmas, adding the darkest page in the as Asia Titanic by the Time magazine as the deadliest peacetime maritime disaster of 20th century. The casualty is an interesting case study of how compliance and poor safety standards can lead to unpredictable strategies.
The incident in the early morning hours of 20 December 1987, the Philippines flag passenger ferry Doña Paz departed from Tacloban, Leyte Island for the Philippines capital of Manila, with a stopover at Catbalogan, Samar. While at Dumali Point along the Tablas Strait at 22:30 and as the most passengers were sleeping, the ferry collided with the oil tanker Empty Vector. The tanker was en route from Bataan to Masbate, carrying 1,041 tons of gasoline and other petroleum products. Accident details at a glance. Type of accident: collision, fire and sinking. Vessels involved: Doña Paz, passenger ferry, Empty Vector, oil tanker. Date: 20 December 1987. Place: Tablas Strait, Philippines. Fatalities: 4,386. 4,374 from Doña Paz. Pollution: no.
Despite not included in the ship manifest, an estimated total of 4,386 people perished in the disaster and only 26 were rescued, including 24 from Doña Paz and 2 crew members from Vector's 13-man crew. Most survivors sustained burns from jumping into the flaming waters. None of the crew of Doña Paz survived. Until today, the death toll of 4,386 people remains the largest ever recorded in a single maritime incident in peacetime. Did you know, a 25th survivor from Doña Paz, Valeriana Duma, was never accounted for by officials, but revealed herself in a TV program in 2012. 25 years after the accident, age 14 at the time of sinking, she was the youngest passenger of Doña Paz to survive.
What could be the probable causes of Doña Paz accident? The fatal incident was a result of series of safety malpractices. In 1999, the Supreme Court of the Philippines ruled that it was the owner's Vector who were liable, as the ship was found unseaworthy and operating without a license, a lookout or a qualified master. However, the official investigation by Philippine Coast Guard also revealed that none of the Doña Paz crew members were at their post when the collision occurred, while only one apprentice was monitoring the ship's bridge at that time. Other officers were in there drinking a beer or watching TV in the recreation room, while the captain was watching a movie in his cabin. The crew found themselves unable to guide evacuation efforts on board, and this was compounded by the unavailability of life vests that were locked in the deck lockers. While this incident was happening, no distress signals was sent out. In addition, the magnitude of death toll was attributed overloading, a common malpractice in the ferry sector. The official passenger manifest of Doña Paz recorded 1,493 passengers and 59 crew members. But amid the Christmas season, it was estimated that the ferry was carrying roughly to 4,000 people at that night, despite its capacity of being 1,518 passengers.
The aftermath, it becomes apparent that the incident is an unpleasant mix of corruption, practices that allowed illegal purchase of extra tickets on board, a mid-Christmas season, poor oversight by authorities that allowed such corruption practices, inadequate safety culture on board that led to the collision, and lack of coordinated response that made SAR operations to start after 8 hours. Despite being the deadliest shipping incident The sinking of Doña Paz is only one of a long list of disasters in Philippines' heavy maritime history.
Notably, from 1972 to 1987, when the Doña Paz accident occurred, there were 80 collisions, 177 sinkings, and 53 shipboard fires in the country's waters that resulted in the deaths of more than 4,000 people. What is interesting is that specifically the owner company of Doña Paz was involved in a total of 4 deadly shipping accidents, resulting in death of December 1987, a total of 4,386 died after Doña Paz and an oil tanker collide of Mindoro Island, October 1988. Doña Marilyn, sister ship of Doña Paz, sinks off Leyte province, killing around 300. September 1998, almost 200 died when the ferry Princess of the Orient, sister ship of Doña Paz, and Doña Marilyn sinks in stormy seas near
87. A total of 4,386 died after Doña Paz and an oil tanker collide off Mindoro Island. On 1998, Doña Marilyn, sister ship of Doña Paz, sinks off Leyte province, killing around 300 people. On September 1998, almost 200 died when the ferry Princess of the Orient, sister ship of Doña Paz and Doña Marilyn, sinks in stormy seas near Cavite and Batangas. On June 2008, Princess of Star sinks 3 kilometers away from Sibuyan Island, killing about 800 people. Earlier, in 1979, owned by the same company but named Don Sulpicio, the ship suffered a major fire that led it to be declared a constructed loss. However, the ship was refurbished and came back to service under the name Doña Paz. At the time of the accident, it was already 24 years old, although the marine inquiry and the court ruling concluded that Doña Paz owner was not to be blamed for the accident. Thank you for listening.